So, folks, we have with us Benedict Kolubah, former Assistant Minister of Finance and Development Planning for Development Planning. So, let's begin just like this. He wrote a very provocative, strong statement. That's where I want to go as we start the conversation. He said, there is no 1.2 billion budget yet in Liberia. And the instrument before the legislature is a legislative cohesion tool rather than a budget. That is a very strong way to describe the much talked about, the much storied 1.2 plus billion draft 2026 budget. Benedict, why will you do that?
Julius, let me say thanks to you and for inviting me here, and let me say hi to the Liberian people and for all those who follow us. Today we're here to give you a story or to give you a message that the government herself is not giving you, and I call the untold story within the instrument that is before the legislature. I will start with a story. I used to be the executive director for a local NGO called LEAFT, Local Education and Agriculture Foundation. In 2003-4, roundabout, we were doing repatriation, rehabilitating community infrastructure. So we had a project with UNDP, and we're doing 2 schools with so many partners. The current senator, one of the senators from Maryland, was the program manager, Senator Barbara Brown. He was the program manager at UNDP. And so when we signed the contract, I think we were around 60,000, some 100,000, and blah, 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 blah. By the time we signed the contract, we go and just look at the volume of resources. Imagine 2004, local NGO, you got 100,000, 150,000. By the time we look at the project budget, poof, we sign. As we implement or we're implementing, there were some issues, constraints, then we came back to the table to discuss with UNDP. So Senator Brown now called up, we went to a meeting, we'll review. He said, you know one thing about you local partners? When we bring the contract before you, you don't read. The first thing you look at is the budget. By the time you see 200,000, 300,000, you sign. When you are implementing, you have issues, you want to come back. So that is the story with the budget of our country. When the government releases the budget, the first thing the government announces, the first thing people look at is the amount. 1.2 billion. Then they go to the president's office. They go to the legislature. How much each of those people getting? But we don't look at how this money will be gotten. How will we realize this money? And so it is from that perspective that I have analyzed that, look, from all we're doing today and what the minister presented to the legislature, I will be arguing on 4 points very quickly. Point number 1, like you just said, there is no $1.2 billion budget. Liberia has not reached that level. We've not been able to mobilize resources that will reach to 1.2 billion.
But the draft is before me here. The revenue component is there. The expenditure component is there. And everything here, according to the numbers, points to a 1.2 billion plus draft budget.
No, the number is misinterpreted, is inflated, and is misrepresenting our strength.
Okay.
The second thing I will be arguing here today is that you saw when we tried to argue about the budget, they changed the budget. You had 2 versions of the budget now. And they said it was a mistake. That wasn't a mistake. It calls for concern that Minister Gaffwan needs to account for 146 or 46 million United States dollars. That wasn't a mistake. I will also be arguing to let you know that the instrument, what is considered as a budget, is not a budget. It is what I term as a coercion or inducement instrument. I want to draw the legislative attention to that.
And inducement instrument.
Yes. And lastly, I will close by telling you, all these things you talk about, arrest, is just a slogan. The budget doesn't speak that anything in this country called arrest. Arrest is not a priority. Arrest is just a slogan. Let me start to tell you why we don't have 1.2 billion budget. I entered the studio, I heard you talking about 200 million naira from ArcelorMittal. First day, if you read, you have the budget before you?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Okay. I want you to go to page X3I, XSI in the budget. We call it the preface.
X3I.
3I.
So that would be 13. X3I.
No. 3I, I.
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Yeah.
It will not be 13, it will be 3. So, the government tells you how they will raise the revenue. So when you pick up the budget, don't look at the number. Look at how the number will be derived. The government says, and let me read that. It said to sustain this and create more resilient fiscal space, the government is rolling out targeted policy reform that are practical, fair, and forward-looking. 1, a 2% presumptive corporate income tax will be introduced for major concessions agreement and ensure that their large operators contribute equitably to the national development. 2, goods and service tax will be increased from 12 to 13%.
It was 10, I think, in 2023.
It was 10.
And then
now
by 2024, it came to 12.
Now they're saying taxation on digital economy. So it's from here I tell you we don't have $1.2 billion budget. The government says the best way.
So let me read it for the sake of the public. Very important. Taxation of the digital economy will be enhanced to reduce leakages and prevent base erosion, ensuring fair contributions from cross-border digital transactions and global platforms operating in Liberia.
So there are 3 ways the government intends to raise the revenue. 1, they will add additional tax on the company corporate income tax by 2%. It's not expanding the revenue bills of the country.
That's additional income coming in?
No,
that's additional revenue.
You're adding taxes on the people. Number 2, they said they're going to increase GST. So the president set a committee to look at prices on the market. When GST...
To bring prices down.
Yes, but yet they will increase taxes. It's ironical. How do you want to reduce prices on the market and then you are increasing taxes on the market? Thirdly, they say digital. So all the mobile money transactions through the banking system, there will be increased taxes on them. How did he write that? That is the reason why the Central Bank of Liberia came up with a memo sometime in September. They said, as of December 1, there will be no government transaction via mobile money. Because the fear is the mobile money companies are handling huge cash. So what they are going to do is they're going to put taxes on the mobile money companies. The more they do transaction, the more they should pay taxes to the government. So on the basis of that, the government herself is now refusing to use mobile money for transactions for the payment of taxes or for the even payment of salaries to people. So those who taking pay through mobile money, CDC established that they're going to close that down. So now, you're going to see how harsh it will be in this country because only taxes will be increased. On the basis of that, if you look at the budget, go to, the budget you said are 700 pages, I got 2 tables explain the budget. I have not wasted my time to look at, executive got 2 million. No. All the one they are waste because they are not going to come true until your new budget is done before I start looking at those appropriations. Go to page XI. Or find what we call the revenue table in the budget.
XI.
I think it's a revenue table. XI is the revenue table.
This is the OK conversation.
So on the revenue table.
Yeah, well, let me reach where I reach to the player. Then you want to be.
I want to keep the.
Yeah.
So on the revenue table tells you where you will get your revenue from. I brought calculator here before. You got my calculator?
No, give me.
No, I left it here. I want you to be calculating.
No, but I got calculator on my phone.
Yeah, I want my calculator. So the revenue table tells you that how you're going to raise the money. So the government said we'll raise 1.2 billion, right? Go to the revenue table.
We are here.
On the revenue table, there is something they call contingent revenue.
Yes, contingent revenue.
Contingent revenue is the revenue that... So the budget revenue generation is divided into broadly 2. Domestic revenue and then external revenue. And the domestic revenue is what you are going to get by yourself. The external revenue is what the partners, the donor will give you. If you check in our budget, there is $72 million for external revenue. That's come from our partners. If you take that from there, you have to take that from there to measure our real strength. That's one. The domestic revenue, within the domestic revenue, you got something they call core revenue. The core revenue is the one that you really, by law, by legitimacy, that you are sure you're going to get. In that core, you got tax and non-tax revenue. So the core revenue is the one you can actually do your budget. So your core revenue, for example, Julius, is your salary that OKFN is paying you. I know maybe it's 1,000. Okay. Let's say you make 1,000, right? That's your core revenue. The day you call your boss man and say, oh, my man, you did well, and, I gave you $200, and that core revenue there. You can't plan your life on that one that my boss man will give me something. So that core revenue is there. Then they got something called contingent revenue. In the contingent revenue, how much money you have there?
I think
$228 million. And let me tell you, the Liberian Post something. The reason we put money in contingency revenue is that there are some revenue, there's some money that's supposed to come, but you need to do something before it comes, and you are sure you will do it. But this one that you see in there, it is not contingent revenue. It is a risk revenue. So we don't add it to the budget. We don't have $1.2 billion budget. You have ArcelorMittal, for example. $200 million is in that money. ArcelorMittal concession has not even gone to the legislature. How do you make it a contingent revenue? It's still with the interministerial committee.
Because it is contingent, and as the word means, it is not.
It is not contingent.
It could come, it may not come.
But then you can't plan on it. It is not contingent because if that budget, if the legislature, if the concession was even before the legislature, if it was even passed by the lower house, discussion now is with the Senate. You can presumably say it's contingent. But here is a money that you want to get has not been even discussed with the NEMA legislative caucus. It has not even been discussed with the interministerial committee. So how do you call it a contingent revenue? It isn't. It is a risk revenue. So $200 million minus $200 million from $1.2 million. How much is that?
$1
billion.
$1 billion.
So we'll move that. There's another line that they call, on the revenue side, they call, what's the people? Asset recovery. They're saying asset recovery would carry people to court and bring another $10 million. Julius, how many cases we got with asset recovery now in court that will bring you $10 million? Even if it will go to court, when you go to court, if somebody stole $10 million, they go to court, the court will not say, okay, you got paying the $10 million. Sometimes they even go into agreement.
Yeah, you pay over 20 years, 25
based on that
years.
payment plan, you pull it into the budget. So $10 million is up. It's a rich money. It's at $210 million. Do we have a $1.2 billion budget? No. You cannot put risk revenue in the budget. And what you're going to do, you create false impression that the Liberian economy is growing. The economy is not growing. But because the foundation of this government was built on lies, and fraudulent and on flawed foundation, they want to prove that they were working. So they say, we have $1.2 billion budget because CDC could not reach $1.2 billion budget. But in the real world, we don't have $1.2 billion budget. So you subtract 210, that's $210 million now, right? Our partner said they will give you 72 million. Add 210 from 72 million. So our real budget, Julius, what my calculator? 210 plus 72. Subtract it from 1.2 billion.
But in this case, they can be more particular about what the partners are bringing in because there is a consistency over the years. That
So I could partially agree with that because you can't doubt the partners. You can only doubt yourself because if you don't meet the condition, the reason why I'm putting the partners as part of that revenue is that up to go to that revenue, go to that same table, that revenue table, you'll realize that for last year, our partner said they were going to give us $76 million. Up to October 31st, as of the time of that report, that $76 million had not been realized.
Because in the 2025 budget?
In the 2025 budget. Go to the table. I told you that whole 700 and some more pages I get on two tables in the budget. The revenue table and the fiscal table. I finished reading it through. I ain't got time for legislator got $56 million now because I know they will not get it. So $76 million of partner money had not come up to October 31st. The Ministry of Finance needs to tell us why, because there are condition precedent that they need to meet before they gather money. If they could not meet that to gather money, I'm not sure the partner will give the $72 million because the government is not able to meet up the disbursement criteria.
Where on this table proves that?
Go on that table, the revenue table. Go to the line that talk about 2025 budget.
The external financing?
Yes, external financing. You will see any money there?
2025 approved budget.
You will see, it's on the fiscal table, you will see the revenue, you will see 76 million, but if the area in terms of achievement, it has not been disbursed.
Yeah, but maybe because the budget year hasn't elapsed yet.
I agree, but I'm saying we have ended October, though money has not come. I'm not sure they will come. Not because the partner don't want to give it, because the partners don't give you the money. There are criteria, there are issues, things that you need to do before the money comes.
It is possible that it may have come, but because
it is possible that it can even come today. Yeah, but the fact that in 10 months I have not seen it conservatively as a budget president, I will not opt for it for the next year, because I don't trust this government to be able to meet up with the criteria or the issues that the partners want before they disburse the money. Even if the partner disburse is on the account of external resources, we cannot measure the growth of our economy on the basis of what the partners have contributed. I want to measure the capability, the ability of the government on the basis of core revenue, on the basis of what they're able to raise. So when you want make be more on your salary. Don't make be more because we might enter here and America, she will send me money tomorrow.
Okay, so fiscal year 2025 approved budget, YTD as at October 31, 2025. What does YTD mean?
So, in fact, that one, YTD means is year to dip, up to the time they were reporting.
Okay, good. Okay, then you have a point. In that case,
on that point, you will see that the 76 million is not there yet.
So, external financing, there is, I'm seeing 60 with. For 2025, I'm seeing 60 with 3 zeros. Why do they do it like this? Why they don't just But it is in the millions, right?
It is 76 million. It should be 76 million. So what I'm saying
I'm seeing 60 here.
Maybe that one of the partners 60, 20.
Then they're saying YTD as at October 31, 2025, 13,437. So it's like 30 million of that has come in. That's what it looks like to me. 30
million has come in?
Yeah.
Okay, so I told you they got two versions there, right? The first one they put up for it was for September.
Yeah.
As of the time they were reporting. So the 76 million had not come in. So I'm just saying to you.
But it is the second budget that was put up.
Second budget. So I'm just saying to you
that I have before.
I'm just saying to you, justifying to you.
Yeah. So let me just get the numbers right. External financing for 2025, 60. So far 13.437 has come in. That is according to this budget in front of me, and the fiscal year 2026 draft budget is 72 million.
That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So if you put 210 and 72 million together, is how much there? $282 million. If you take that away from our budget, the reason I'm taking that away, it doesn't really mean that the donors will not pay, but the condition had not been met. And it's not the measure of our domestic economy, the growth of our domestic economy. So I'm trying to let the Liberian people know that it almost looks like you cook 2 cups of rice, and I will come to that in your house, and you meet the children with the money, with the food, but you are telling them, y'all wait, when our neighbor cook, they will get us, y'all will eat that one. And you will understand that later when we go to the budget disaggregation. So our first point is that for the fact that you have revenue that is not on the account of core domestic resource mobilization strategy to increase your revenue is on a windfall, you cannot consider it as the strength of your economy or of your budget to call it 1.2 billion. One of the reasons why it cannot even be 1.2 billion, Julius, go to that same budget line, look at the projection for 2027. Mm-hmm. For 2027, the budget will drop down to $1 billion. Why? Because ArcelorMittal will not be around again. It will take another 25 years before we can get maybe $200 million or maybe something less. So on the basis of that, it is not a revenue that you can.
What could they do with this money from ArcelorMittal and these other resources?
We'll come to that. I'll tell you what have they done with that money. So in the first account, we don't have 1.2 billion budget. We're right around 930. If our partner help us, 920. If our partner money goes there with our partners, yeah, we can be around 977 or 980 billion dollars with our partner. But as a government, and where we are, we don't have 1.2 billion budget. Let's go to the next point. So what are they doing with this money? It's way down. That's why I say arrest is a slogan. Arrest is not a priority. Julius, your question has carried me almost to the last. I want you to go to the budget, right? In the budget narrative says that you have $281 million that goes to public sector investment. Let me explain that. The budget is divided in terms of expenditure, is divided into two. One goes to what we call recurring. Recurring means every day, like you got to eat. So like in your house, every day you got to eat. It's a recurring thing. That one that you can't avoid. You get out the next day you eat. You get out the next day you eat. So when you plan in your budget, the first thing you plan from your salary that home maintenance, that the food in the home, that the first thing you plan for. You can't plan for building hot fresh. When you take out the food money, the children money, hospital money, when you take out all of those, the one that remain, then you tell you why they want here, let's post on that because we want buy land or will pay us. So that recurrent expenditure of the budget this year is on the core revenue, which means all the money the government will collect, they are putting all to just to run the government. The government collecting almost $927 million.
When I had the deputy minister here last week, I asked him why did the recurring expenditure go so high?
In fact, the current recurring expenditure is more than last year's budget. Last year's budget was $880 million. This year's recurring expenditure is somewhere 920 or 930 million.
In the draft budget for 2026. Yeah.
Yes. Now, so we are going back to the days of Madam Sadi. We are going back to the reason why we did harmonization. Government was collecting money, United Party government was collecting money, get eating it, and they were depending on the partners to develop the country. That's why we had Ome Quick Impact Project in this country. We had the UNDP projects that we did. We had the Lace World Bank project and all over. Today we have gone back to that because all the core revenue that have been collected is going towards running the government. That is the reason why they took all the money and pulled it. That's why I'm telling you there is no $1.2 billion budget. They took all the money and pulled it to hand to mock just to get eat, buy scratch car, increase salaries and buy do allowances for people.
They got to pay that too.
Then one of the things they did, I don't know whether Josiah Joker have read the budget. He's just coming back. I hope he will read the budget. We used to have what we call consultancy. They cancel that. They say, yeah, we were spending $6 million on consultancy. There is a line in the budget now they call other compensation. It's $26 million. How do you run a country like that when you say we're not doing good?
Yours was $6 million for
consultancy. And the reason we had no consultancy, there were some people who were old beyond the age limit to work and get on government payroll. They were cleaning the city hall. They were cleaning the mansion. So we put them on consultancy because they passed the pension age. But they got to get that daily bread. When you put their name on the payroll will reject them because the payroll is automatic, it's set up. So we put them on a consultancy to clean the street, to clean the mansion, clean places, to pay them. They came and said, no, it was wrong. So they created a new line, $26 million.
And one of the very sticky issues from elections up to present has been the issue of compensation in government. It was too high, that your government carried up, I think, to either 296 million or over 300 million.
No, we left it at 297 million.
Now, in this draft budget, it has gone up to, I think,
329 million. If you put the 26 million there, you're talking almost 350 or plus million dollars for compensation.
What could be responsible for that increase?
Because they're employing more in government. Let me tell you, go to the Ministry of Finance. They didn't say it. You saw on the website, Minister of Finance recruited what we call technical focus person. You think where they're paying those people from? They're paying them from other compensation. They employ United Party partisans all over in government. They call them interims. The money is going there. So the whole budget. So what I'm saying is, The reason we're going back to the pre-harmonization day is that all the core revenue that is being collected is going to get our mouth, get for eating, salaries, compensation, goods and services. The 200, and this is the risky part. The 200 million that Aslam Meta, or we praying for manna to fall from heaven, that the 200 million they align to projects. And you know what the danger about this? Public sector investment project, when the government pays, salary is paid, maybe 350 person gas pay, and the benefit from 70 person gas pay, 70,000 person gas pay. When you multiply that by 5, it's about 350,000 people benefit every month when government takes pay. The rest of the people don't benefit from the budget. The only way they benefit from the budget is to do projects. When you do projects, it delivers. The project not just pay them, but it also delivers the government agenda. That's why I told you arrest is a fiasco, a slogan, and it is not a priority.
Why?
Because if you look at public sector investment that's supposed to deliver the arrest agenda, right? Mm-hmm. And you pull it to contingent revenue. If those revenue does not come, you will implement arrest. You talk about the list. Go to the list for the public sector investment, 200 million for Aslam Meta. Give more at least 6 million. Give agriculture 4.5 million. There where all the money going.
The entire agriculture sector is 13 million plus.
Yeah, 13 million compensation. They are talking about public sector investment. So you see that the government is saying arrest is our priority, but they are saying, no, you know what? Let's eat first before we even start doing arrest, because let's divide the real money we're supposed to get. I told you that. It means that the government is our father, our parent. They are telling us, the common citizen, you know why? The 3 cups of rice we cook, we'll eat it as parent first. The one the neighbors will give us, that the one you will eat. The neighbors are the World Bank and other people. So the money the World Bank will give, the money Aslam Meta will go, that's what they will use for project to do. They say 50 million now for electricity. Mesla doesn't give that money. They will give 50 million now for electricity? No. Both waters are roll 50 million now from the Aslam Meta money. So, is arrest a priority, Julius? Anything that's a priority in your home when you take your salary, that the first place you put it, right? So why would the government say arrest is a priority? They collect core revenue and eat it, and they're waiting for manna to fall from heaven.
So the
entire $281 million.
The core revenue that could be generated is over 900 million. Is the government able to generate that, given what the LRA stats say?
Well, given what LRA stats says, I can reach that by 15% because I still have not seen, because that now has some more $1 million, you are including the donors' money. Yes, the donors' support will come in, but I can reach that by another maybe 15, 20 million. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means they cannot get that, because if you even check in the budget, if I even go and really get fish in the budget, you will realize that there's oil block deals. Mm-hmm. Signature bonuses are inside there. They're hiding somewhere inside there. If those oil blocks are not signed, the lawmakers are already complaining about some of them. If they are not signed, they will not count. So I can still raise that 900 some more million. I can still raise it by another 15, 20 million. So we don't have a $1.2 billion budget. Our economy, our revenue generation capacity cannot even give us $950 million without the partners giving us money. So the government is just deceiving herself and a showmanship just to be able to tell the Liberian people that they are working. Let me tell you something.
I listened to the finance minister the other day. I had the deputy here, and they are so sure that they will pull this off.
Where? But Julius, you are asking them obvious questions. I'm telling you the hidden message in the budget. They didn't tell you this. Okay, let them call and tell whether Aslam Meta deal is with the legislature. That's the first thing I want them to do. It hasn't.
But maybe given the discussions they've been having internally with lawmakers, with the heads of the legislature, and other that, they have been assured that this will go through.
No, you know why? I told you what is before the legislature. It is not a budget, right? I said it is a coercion tools or an inducement tools. This is not a budget.
Explain that now.
So you got 3-4 concessions before the legislature. Mm-hmm. Aslam Meta will go there and make it 5 because the two concessions for the oil black, the 8 oil blacks, then HPA is there, 3 Aslam Meta will come, right? Mm-hmm. They had not been signed. But then money that's supposed to come from there, They have now taken that money and divided in the interest of lawmakers. For example, they increased the legislature, a budget, right? Then they put money in the budget, for example, in Lofa. They say they will get, 8 million to Trevilian Hospital. You think the Lofa County Court will not be happy for that? They put $50 million to be able to pave the road from here to, Bow side. The Western Cluster legislature will not be happy for that. So because they have tied the legislature interest to the budget, they've coercing them. So what they want to do is, if they ratify or approve the budget as it is, it's an automatic ratification of all the concession, because they will come back to and say, you know what, the money will get in your hospital in a concession. That will make it a coercion tools. If you remove all the concession, border, and everything from the budget, there is a budget. The legislature could sign that and take their time to review the concessions. The concession money will not run away. When the folks get that money, they will still come to Liberia, right? They in power, they will still decide how to use it. But to create the false impression that you got $1.2 billion when you cannot even raise $950 million, it's a deception.
His name is Benedict Kolubah, former Assistant Finance and Development Planning Minister for Planning, taking some time out. He is providing reasons why he thinks the budget is not what it is. He thinks that it's a facade. Let's take some calls. He will.
Julius, that call time now, my man.
Yeah, we gotta take.
Oh, my man. I got one more point. Let me tell you. I got one more point. One point. Minister Gafwan said it was a mistake when they got on the fiscal table and the revenue when he increased the budget from 880 million to 975 million. When I raised that, you saw that post. They said it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake.
Why do you say so?
Julius, go to the same table. There is something we call the fiscal table. Go on that budget. Can go below the revenue table. You see fiscal table. The first fiscal table, that Minister Gafwan put up.
I have the fiscal table, yeah.
Okay. On that fiscal table, there is something below that they call fiscal balance. Go the last line.
Yes, fiscal balance is here.
How much is there a fiscal balance?
For 20, they say YTD as at October 31, 2025, I'm seeing 55,505.
55 million, right? What they are saying is, there's something they call on spend. You found that? Or it's on spend. So what they're saying in the revise is that the government decided that they will raise $880 million, and they said they have already the amount they had generated and the one they have spent. That fiscal balance is the balance that they have in the account of the government. Now, let me tell you something about fiscal table. At the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, the Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs, Oro Myers, who was here, the way the system is said, the way you watch CNN News, right? The Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs can watch the consolidated bank account like that. Every money that's dropping inside, he can see it. Because the finance minister is busy with different things, so he has that responsibility. The minister too can see it, but for core function, he sees that every day. So before you come out with fiscal table and say, this is the balance, it means you got the bank table, bank balance in your hand. So Julius, you here, when they pay you, you say you got $200 in your account. How do you know? You don't get your bank balance? You can guess that you got $200 in your account? So in the first fiscal table, Minister Gafwan said, and let me show you that first fiscal table. In that first fiscal table, Minister Gafwan said they were going to reach the revenue outturn as $970 million. And then, as of the time they were reporting, they have been able to spend $737 million. And they reported a fiscal balance of $184 million. In that $184 million, $37 million was going to be a brought forward. So it means there was $146 million bank balance that they reported that was sitting in the account of September. It wasn't a mistake because you can't report bank account, you can't report your balance without bank statement.
But so it could be a typographical issue.
No, okay, if it's a typographical issue, then they should publish the bank account, the bank balance as of September 31st, and then they publish the bank balance as of October 31st. So then we'll see whether it was a mistake. If you have $55 million as of October 31st sitting in the consolidated account, then Gafwan is right. Other than that, something is wrong somewhere. Another thing that was in our budget, Julia, you had two copy of that budget. Another thing that was in our budget, it wasn't a mistake. The numbers were intact. They were well calculated. Minister of Finance, for example, was reporting $9 million for altering. They revised it and brought it down to $8 million. All those numbers were intact. It wasn't a mistake.
So what do you think is happening?
Something is wrong somewhere. They're holding revenue from, even their own data he reported of $55 million. That $55 million means that as of October 31st, the government was having $55 million sitting in her account, where our University of Liberia could not even get $5,000 or $500,000 to open the University of Liberia. Whereas they could not even get drugs in the hospital. How do you hold $55 million? So it means it's not true. They have spent the money on different things, but on paper, they say the money is there. If Minister Gaffron publishes the bank balance as of October 30th or October 35th to show the $55 million, then on this one, I will retract it and say, Minister Gaffron, I'm sorry. But until then, he has to account for $146 million as of September as he reported. It wasn't a mistake.
His name is Benedict Kolubah. This is the OK Conversation. We
even start here, sir.
Yeah, but finish talking about 4 points. And next time when you hear, it will be in a panel discussion.
Oh yeah, I'll be happy.
We'll have someone from the side of the government. We may have someone from civil society on our side also. We'll have a panel discussion perhaps Wednesday. We'll try to arrange that to see who comes from the end of the government. 777-700-995, 555-995, the numbers to call. Welcome. Let's hear you. Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you. Hello. Okay. This is a high-level discourse. When you call, just be ready to talk. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Sorry, I didn't come already on.
Yeah, you saw do that ever since. Yes, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Julius, let me say, Idris Benedict, let me say thank you to our brother Benedict for an excellent presentation. I'm myself kind of concerned as a business person, looking at the economy right now. Businesses are slowing down. People are cutting down staff. And you are talking about income tax. People are closing down their businesses. People are reducing, their activities, their business activities. How do you generate all this money considering the high economic situation, and then you expect that the business will perform, and also they be able to generate this revenue. But when the businesses are closing, what's the surety? And they're going to collect that much of money that you are claiming to collect. And more besides, you are overly taxes, you are increasing taxes. They are already difficult. When I go to APM seminar, the daily rate has increased to $85 per day on storage. Are you considering all of those?
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly for your call. Let's see who's on this end. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Insa. I'm calling with this number now to be Pistachio Street. Yes. I just want to tell the former minister, thank you for the high level of elaboration. At least it made me to understand the budget very well. But I think the Ministry of Finance will not generate with 1.2 billion.
Okay.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Okay, thanks so kindly. Let's see who's on the international line. Okay, you went off there. This one is coming in, I believe, from France. I'm seeing +33. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Julia. This is William Bro.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, senior brother Benedict. This big brother is very brilliant because myself, I've been going through the budget, and everything that he's saying was almost the same thing that I was thinking about. You see, Julia, before senior brother Benedict came to studio, you were saying something about the 200 million that a settlement is supposed to give, which will not even come again in the next budget yet. These kind of money should be kept aside for legacy projects. But they chunk it in the budget, they will spray among salaries and benefits, or whatever thing they want to do with it, which will not even show anything important in the future. And you see, our government need to be fair to the population, and let's stop playing politics with the people's budget, because the budget will be the one to reflect the well-being of the people. They should stop that. It's wrong.
Okay. Thanks so kindly. Thanks so kindly for your call as well. Welcome. Who's here? Let's hear you.
Good
Good evening, Julius. This is Fernando's and I call you from Morocco.
Go ahead.
Well, I'd like to start by thanking Big Brother Benedict Kolubah, and I think he has demonstrated brilliance again. I've always said to people, and to one of my friends, I'm not an economist, but from the little thing I learned from the United Methodist Church, I was made to understand that this very budget figure that was published, it is unrealistic, I said to somebody. Because you remember, Julius, you were the same person in studio reading some complaints from LRA about SOEs not paying what they were supposed to pay.
Yes.
So the fact that they could not live up to these obligations, how come now they are planning to meet this? I mean, this obligation this time? It's not possible. 1.2 billion is huge. And looking at our revenue envelope, and those whom we depend on to generate these funds are not showing signs of readiness and preparedness to contribute to the budget. So thank you, Benedict, Big Brother Benedict Kolubah. We look forward to learning more from you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so kindly as well. Let's come local. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Julius.
Yes, go ahead.
Very good afternoon. My name is Father B, and I come from District 13.
Go ahead.
Julius, the argument made by Benedict Kolubah is strong and well pointed. We hopefully Wednesday will be a very good day so that you can compare and contrast. But the argument for me, I think the budget is unrealistic for you, and that the issue has to do with the asset recovery team generating money, which of course they haven't started the case anywhere. And then I believe, I mean, it's so unrealistic. But
okay.
we obviously look up to Wednesday, and I
yeah, sure. Well, I will try my best so we can have that conversation. Welcome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, thank you again, Julius. The name is Jacob Cousin. I call from North Dakota.
Mm-hmm.
Big Brother Benedict, that would be the first time I would say you and I would agree on one thing. Because most time you go to the studio, the way you talk, I have a problem with it. Shouting, but at least today, you made it very explicit. And I want to say this to you, Big Brother Benedict. Your brilliance today is fair enough for every Liberian and for every other person. But your brilliance in the past was only for CDC. And it was never being demonstrated, it was never being shown to the Liberian people. Julius has been fed.
Mm.
As smart as Benedict Kolubah is, he sat in the Ministry of Finance for 6 years as a city minister. Minister Twe was got on sanction. There were book of budgets that were passed, horror budget, I can more one CDC budget passed nowadays. I was thinking 2021 budget. That budget was passed over in 6 days. Minister Benedict Kolubah was very innocent of that he was assistant minister. He did not speak to any of those bad things. They passed some terrible budget. Nothing he could speak to. But today, I applaud him. I'm happy that Liberia got good people like him. He can come to the studio. He can discuss the issue. He can provide all the.
Yeah, but that time he was inside. So maybe inside he used to talk.
Oh, so Julius, also because we inside now, we see our people with that. So we can't give you.
But so you expect an assistant minister to come and say, "This is the budget, a bad budget."
No, Julius, this is the argument. If I'm going to somebody meeting, go create a call.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for raising that. So he will now tell us whether he was critical of certain things within. Yeah, okay, thank you.
I applaud the people that I love him, I respect him. But let him tell us the critical things.
Okay, thanks so kindly. I'm coming to you. Let me take one more. Let me take one. Yeah, let me do that quickly. Let me take one more call, then we'll go back to him. Hello, welcome. Sorry. Hello? Yes, you can go ahead now.
I'm Avin Johnson calling from Tubo District number 4. Thank you to the Eastman Studio. Thanks to Mr. Benedict Kolubah. You know, yesterday the people thought the CDC never have brilliant people in the country that could move the country forward. But now they are living upon their brain to be able to make decisions. Because I just listened to the president. He said he carrying the rescue payroll, which is the payroll on the purpose for development and prosperity. So yesterday the people couldn't even raise 200 million budget. Jura, you know that will be yourself.
I know that you talking your thing. I beg you. Who you coming for?
People are now want to raise 8 million budget. You think they want to raise 1.2 million budget?
Billion. Thanks. So kindly we'll hold you there. I was seeing this call coming from the US, but it's like we can't get it. The next guest is here, I guess. Yeah. So we come back to you, Benedict. Mm-hmm.
So let me go to somebody say you say what the critical thing are raised during our regime, right? Mm-hmm. We all take collective responsibility. Mm-hmm. I don't want to exclude myself from the happening, but I will be brave to tell you 3 key things I really support. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't mean that the government should not do it. Mm-hmm. I didn't support us expanding the RRA highway.
Why?
Because I said our agenda said we will connect county capitals with paved road. Mm-hmm. So let everywhere get paved road before we start expanding. Does that mean that they should have agreed with me? So I said that morning we should pull it to from Grand Bassett to River Cess. Everybody got 2 lanes, then we can't be expanding.
Okay.
So that means that I'm going to on the radio and be saying I disagree with this. Ask Minister Zoka Wesing. Ask the whole entire cabinet. I was one of the very privileged assistant ministers that I used to go to cabinet. I presented scorecard for all ministers and sectors. Julian, as a general, you ever heard that I put journalists all of the cabinet meeting?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear that? When I was presenting, I told the president, Mr. President, with your permission, can we ask the journalists out? Open the line, ask all the journalists out there. We threw them out of the cabinet because I was saying raw things. And some of the ministers could not speak to me. I tell you the third thing. The 25 million we gave to WFP.
Mm-hmm. For the food.
I told Minister Twelve we shouldn't give it to them. We should go register the people mobile money. We transfer the money to them. They buy from their local communities. But the Bible says when there was Elijah, there wasn't an Elisha. When there was Moses, there wasn't an Aaron. Life is time. So you expected me to come be talking, oh, I told you they want. No. Leaders see beyond their subjects. Not because I made suggestions, I will come on the radio and talk. Here is the point. This is not about CDC. This is not about UP. This is about our country. The reason why you see it as partisan role because the group of people that are in power made the world to believe that all of us in CDC, we don't have hairs on our shoulder. We don't know anything. As a result, they kept running the government by themselves. They're not able. When we took over, we brought some of them. Depuzwo was my consultant. I can say that. Go to the PABD. Depuzwo's name is there as a consultant. Not because he was the smartest person. He was a deputy minister at Foreign Affairs for International Cooperation. But we felt that we needed everybody. The consultant who did the AFT and AFT review, we hired the same consultant to do the PAPD. The PAPD is by far better and logical than the arrest agenda. Because why? We brought opposition on the board to even write the plan. Mo Ali was leading one of the consultation in the Southeast and brought report. He brought the Union Party perspective. We included it into the arrest agenda, like into the PAPD. So yes, I was tough. Go to the finance ministry. I was tough on PAPD issue. But let me close on this. Here is one danger. There are so many dangers in the budget. I will not talk about some until the budget is approved. But here is the message I want to tell the Liberian people. What Minister Gaffon and 2 things. What Minister Gaffon and the president are saying to us is that the real government money they're collecting, they're eating the fresh before the Liberian people can eat. That is the language in the budget. The recurrent expenditure is the money the government can use to run, hire plane for the president to travel, get gas lay for the president. That's what they call the eat. So that fresh money they're collecting from our taxes, that one for them to eat fresh. The one Asla Meta will give, the one the workmen will eat, that the one they would use to do projects, that the arrest project there. It means arrest is not a priority for them. If arrest is a priority, take the $200 million, complete it out of the budget. Then the $281 million that you say for PSIP, take it from the core revenue. Then we know you're serious. So I'd like to close with the legislature. You don't have a budget before you. You have to think twice. You have an instrument to induce you because they have aligned resources to your interest area. It will blind you and just sign the budget as it is. When those concessions come by, you have no time to review. Like I did with the oil concession before, please, you put all the concession one side and look at the budget.
His name is...
I will come back and look at the concession, take all those...
Thanks so kindly, Benedict Kolubah. Maybe Wednesday we'll be able to have the panel discussion. Thanks so kindly.
It should be for 2 hours.
Yeah, sure. That is what I am planning.
But the government will not come.
They will. Why you think they will not come? They will.
Because I don't lie. I speak from their own record. I have not even started talking different things.
Thanks so kindly. That's how we go. Our next guest is Imam Ali Krai. Is here. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. Let's do a very quick break with one of our sponsors here. Shortly, Imam Krai will be entering as Benedict Kolubah will be going out. This is the OK Conversation on OKFM 99.5. My name is Julius J.